Welcome to Menagerie. I'm your host, Doran Joseph. This is our second episode, and it's going to be a great one. We've got a story that no one's ever heard before of an artist going through unbelievable trials and tribulations. Pretty heartwarming, touching stuff, very inspirational. We're going to hear some spoken word poetry, then we're going to talk about our favorite conspiracy theories. But first, on to more pressing matters. There are thousands of people walking, marching, and there's no wall to protect us. No wall. I'm talking, of course, not of the Honduran migrants, but of the White Walkers in Game of Thrones. The wall has burned. There is no wall anymore. George R.R. Martin needs to hurry up and finish these books because I've been sitting on book 5 for like 6 years, and we're still waiting for a new update. But I want to introduce you guys to my guest for this week. He's a good friend of mine. We've known each other for a long time. He's been through thick and thin. I've just been mostly thin. I'm very excited to have my good buddy, John Garner, better known as Lakryth, here with me.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How you doing, Lak?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a little bit of a trip for me, man. It's been a crazy year.
But you've been writing some new stuff now.
Yeah. I'm in the process right now. I'm kind of keeping it under wraps, but I'm working on an EP and some other stuff. Trying to kind of rebrand something that I was working on a few years ago. Trying to work with that. I'm trying to keep it hush-hush, too, but doing some stuff. You can still see me around town at local open mics and stuff like that, too,
So this is a big first to you. I don't want to rush you to show off your new hardware.
Right,
but,
no.
This is the first time John's been able to get out and do a public viewing with his new prosthetic, so maybe
hey.
You want to give us a little tour?
Yeah, well, yeah, anybody who's followed me, and those who don't, that's a big spoiler,
it's
right?
A good follow.
I don't have legs.
We're gonna link his stuff in there.
Yeah, so this is right, yeah.
Oh, also, I don't have legs.
Yeah. But, so this has been a process now. I lost my legs 2 years ago, just about. It would have been not this January, but the January before last. And it's been a process now of just about 2 years, and just about a week ago I got these. These are these are about as archaic as you can get in terms of prosthetics, but they're working for me now while I jump through the red tape of Medicaid, which we all know can be a blast.
Yeah, that's you don't want to get me turned on this early in the interview, Lak. Do they hurt?
Yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff, right? So I'm actually what's known as BKA, which simply is below the knee amputee. I am a bilateral, as I lost them both on each side. A lot of the pain that comes in the process of that is I deal with a lot of phantom pain and a lot of phantom sensation, which is weird. The big one, like my left foot right now itches, and that is the most infuriating goddamn thing in the world, to have an itch that you literally cannot scratch. I mean, as hard as you can.
This non-existent itch. Wow, yeah. I can't even imagine.
And that, just like anything else, through adaptation becomes part of your life. But with the prosthetics themselves, yeah, there is a lot of, it's a different thing, you know? I mean, the legs aren't going directly onto my little nub here, so to speak, right?
Nub life.
Yeah, nub life. Nub life.
We decided that's the new tattoo.
I am going to get that.
I like that better than stump life.
That's good. Maybe I'll have to open that out for a voting for the viewers. What's better, stump life or nub life for a stomach tattoo right here?
What's the most inappropriate tattoo for a paraplegic?
Yes. Please send your entries. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of discomfort considering that there's a lot of hardware involved. There is a silicone sleeve that goes up damn near to my testicles, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing to have. I mean, which is good. My testicles need company.
I agree. I just think that we're friends, and I can't help you, but I want them to have that.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of like, I can't take any pets, but I want other people to have pets.
It's cool. Let's keep going with the questioning. I'll still love you that way.
So, I've known you for about 5-6 years now, and so for some of the people watching, I know the story better than they do. Seems like you're doing really well now. What have you kind of found that's made things better for you, made things easier, kind of mentally?
Well, yeah, right, yeah. So the big problem in my story is I've struggled. I mean, I've been a product of my environment for a long time, and I've struggled with addiction for a very, very, very long time. And as a result of that, lost things multitudes of times as a result of that. this whole process, actually, to go back and reverse a little bit, was caused as a result of that. Even in my early 20s, when I was 23 years old, this would have been in 2012, 2013, I quit drinking. My kidneys were failing. I was in a bad spot.
That's a good time to do that.
Good time to do it, right? Yeah. You only got 2 of them, I hear. And I ended up getting sober for a couple of years, but like most of these stories start after a really bad breakup with a woman that I figured I loved more than anything, like any of the other stories. I relapsed real bad into drinking and using drugs, which I was fucking great at. Let me add. I was
Stick to what you're good at, right?
Right, yeah. I mean,
stop giving us bad advice.
I mean, I'm really good at drugs. And so what, talk about a segue, right?
It's a fucking yearbook quote if there's ever been one.
It was my yearbook quote.
Wow.
It was. Most likely to OD and chess captain. Those are 2 I had in high school. But as a result of, addiction is something like mental health in general, I think, in this country isn't really followed enough, right? You know, I mean, the trials and tribulations that people fight, the invisible monsters that reap chaos in our life on the daily is insane. And as a result of that relapse, within a year, I had lost my condo, my girlfriend, obviously, my job, my car. Relationships were getting pretty thin, and I ended up just living out on the street. And as a result of that, I got caught in a snowstorm. And I spent 9 days in sub-zero temperature, unable to get out from where I was, and lost the legs.
Good Lord. And we're going to talk about more uplifting things. But
bye.
We will, I promise. But this is the first time you've told this
story.
It is,
yeah.
This is kind of your coming out, because I'm sure everyone asks.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know. And then I had a GoFundMe account originally to try to help me out with some of the medical bills and some of the things after that. But it's been really clouded in mystery. A lot of people still don't know the full story. I still have friends of mine on social media that'll message me, or sometimes halfway through a conversation.
Hey, what happened to your legs?
Yeah, but holy shit, why are you in a fucking wheelchair in your photo, man? You know, so And even then, you'd think that would be the rock bottom, right? You know, losing your damn legs. But
so let's get into it. So you're sitting in the cold, immobilized. I guess the situation with your legs is probably why you couldn't leave or go somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, it had started off. You got to understand.
What's kind of the cycle? What's going through your head, in your mind, as kind of day by day the situation deteriorates?
It was, at that point in time, there were some other people that were underneath the tunnel where I was sleeping at, and the week prior, this was right around the first of the year, a cousin of mine was trying to put me in a rehab, but I figured I wasn't that bad. I didn't need to do all that, And he had given me some money, so I was able to buy a pretty fucking good stockpile of cheap vodka down there. So even after that snowstorm hit for the first couple of days, I was fucking fine,
Yeah, you're bunkered down.
Oh yeah, I had a
Stalingrad. It was much worse.
I had a pad to lay on and a blanket and 6 handles of McCormick's. I was good to go. You know what I mean? And what had happened was, when I kind of ran through that stockpile, there was another guy underneath the bridge who had a bottle of whiskey, and I was drinking with him one night, and he had told me, I can't provide for both of our habits, pretty much, right? Which, honorable guy, right?
Yeah.
And so you got to go
This town ain't big enough for the both of us, pal.
Right? You got to do something.
You need a different bridge.
Work harder on your addiction. And what had happened was I decided, he said, well, you got to go try to make some money for yourself, whatever you got to do. And that next morning, I had gotten up and tried to stand up. And I couldn't stand up. I was just, don't get me wrong. About a week prior to that, I knew something was going on with my fucking foot, but I wasn't going to look at it.
It was just a total, denial?
Yeah, well, it was it's going to get hotter, right? The sun's going to come out. Yeah. It's going to get better. It can't stay this cold forever, right? And then, you drink enough, you'd be surprised how comfortable you can make things. So the crazy part of the story to me, too, and this is another part I think a lot of people haven't had a chance to hear, is I tried to wake up everybody in the camp and let them know, hey, maybe I need to go to the fucking hospital. Yeah. I can't walk. And they all kind of was under the assumption I was lying and kind of, I just wanted to stay there and drink, have them bring me booze or something along the lines, and they left me. So for 3 days, I spent 3 days trying to climb out of this fucking tunnel, man. And it's crazy to think about even still today, man.
Just frostbitten feet.
Yeah. I remember laying out there for hours screaming for help. People walking their dogs, I could see. No one did anything. And that final day, I just...
Oh, he's just a crazy...
Yeah, or whatever. I was praying someone would call the authorities at least. Someone just to get me out of there. But that last day I woke up and it was you know, I've been through a lot of stuff, man. You know my past. I don't have necessarily the greatest story in the world, but I've seen death in a lot of different ways.
You haven't had the best chapter so far, but it's not done.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I just want to get that part out of the way with, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what makes an interesting book.
Thank you. But the thing is like, that morning I woke up, that last morning I was down there, and I just had a feeling I can't really articulate really well, but I knew that that was most likely going to be my last day there, you know? And I said, well, screw it. So this is how it's going to go, right? And this is my legacy. My family and friends are all going to hear me, you know, how'd Lak go? You know, oh, he's under a fucking tunnel. You know, he died under a tunnel. So I fucking got myself up and managed to throw myself up this ice and kind of snow hill that had kept me trapped in there. And by some luck, man, my fingers got stuck in a crack of the concrete.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a crazy story, right?
Good old cracks.
Yeah, you can't write this stuff. And I was able to pull myself up from out of there and out of the tunnel. But at that point, I realized there's snow 3-4 inches deep on the sidewalk. No one's paved anything, right?
Right. So you're gonna
what am I going to do? Yeah, am I going to crawl? Am I going to scoop myself through this snow? What am I going to do? So I asked a few people that had passed me, 2 waiting for the bus, 1 with a dog. I don't need money. I'm not on drugs. Can you please help me? And they just walked right by me. And at that point, I just broke down. I had a chance. My shoes had fallen.
Why doesn't he want any money, or isn't he on drugs?
Yeah, right, yeah. They tried to give me a bus token. No, they didn't. But yeah, I mean, that was a chance. In the process of climbing out, my shoes had fallen off, my socks had ripped. I saw my toes for the first time. They were as black as, the screen.
What does that feel like?
You know, I think it was.
That's what everyone would want. Just what does that revelation feel
it was
like?
a lot of. It was a lot of maybe this isn't that good, right?
Yeah.
You know, like it was kind of a big. There was the realization of that, because up until that point I had figured, yeah, you know, this might not be that bad.
You were pretty inebriated at this point.
Oh, I was. I blew over a point. I was like 0.43 when they brought me in, totally coherent and awake. So I
don't think that's possible. I think that's the dead zone.
0.2 is people can die at 0.2.
And you were at 0.43.
Yeah.
So I've heard in football when they have the 40-yard dash,
40-yard dash,
people try and run 4.3s. Lak was out here drinking in a tunnel running 4.3s.
Well, and who knows? I mean,
that's unbelievable.
But you know,
that's like that would kill an elephant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, and I'm not without my scars internally from all of this too. You have to understand that even after losing my legs and spending the next 3 months in an ICU unit of a Swedish burn unit of their hospital, I was released and went right back into fucking drinking and using and stuff, man.
Wow.
You'd think that would be a rock bottom, right? And
you needed to get lower, like.
Oh yeah, and I think that's an important message for people to see. I hope people that struggle with these things can see what I went through, and not have to go through fucking half of it. I wish I would have.
Made it a lot harder for me to walk to the liquor store now.
I still made it, you know. I still made it, hell. But I think it's important that people realize that, because I for the longest time felt that things weren't that bad for me, that I had to go out and learn it myself, and it took me a lot of fucking learning to learn that things. This is quite the monster that people battle, you know. And it was after another stint of being homeless and the trifecta and the amalgamation of, you know, because I was having seizures from withdrawal, you know, I was homeless, I have no fucking legs. I mean, it's not the best trifecta to have yourself in. And this, just a few months ago, I found myself in a bad position, and I decided to really try to give this thing a try. And since then, every single day of my life's been turning all of this stuff around, you know.
So yeah, let's kind of put the bow on the story, and it's not an insignificant bow. For one,
thank you.
You are a phenomenal talent, and I've been saying this to you since we were jumping around on stage at Menagerie in the early days. Awesome lyricist, unbelievable freestyle mind and cadences, and for years I've been kind of getting on you to pursue that harder.
Yeah.
Before any of this, before you needed any kind of like friends there for you for motivational reasons, I was.
Yeah, that was a hard thing for me in the past. A few years ago, especially right about the time you were starting up Menagerie, I was coming from a place where I was on top of the world, man. I was doing great in the rap battle scene. I was really trying to start a brand for myself and doing a lot of shows. And through a process of just life in itself, I started to grow stagnant, you know, in art in general, in my life, and the decisions I was making in my life, you know, and the politics, I've never been big in the politics that surround a lot of the art and stuff in the scene, and that's always been hard for me. But I felt it, especially people like you and other people who have supported me so much over the years. I feel it kind of like a disrespect to not further pursue what I need to do, and that's been a big motivator in what I'm trying to do recently, because I mean, especially in hip hop, I think it's really easy to be like, it's a young man's kind of thing, right? You know what I mean? And
there's no country for old men on
yeah,
the track.
exactly, right? So, I did the thing where I was like, I don't know, man, maybe I'm getting too old. Maybe this was never meant for me. But throughout all this, it's an itch that will never go away for me. I need to perform, I need to create, and I need to do that. I'm in the process still trying to find a variable or something, a cohesive medium of some kind that I can really use.
Maybe even a large.
Yeah, right.
Right. So, as you're kind of going forward, how do you balance knowing that, being a bit of kind of an inspirational story of sorts, of having this situation with your legs? If you, were to make it in rap, the YouTube video would say, rapper with no legs.
Oh, yeah.
And how do you balance kind of the boost in maybe visibility that could help you get with also that being just annoying as an artist and not being not.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's something we were talking on earlier, right? Yeah, it was something for me that was originally really thrown at me by a lot of my hip hop friends. Hey man, let's get you in a cypher in the wheelchair without the legs on. I mean, this will blow up. I didn't want to be recognized as that, right?
Yeah, you don't want to be Sideshow Bob.
Yeah,
you didn't get worse at rapping when you they didn't take your rap right.
Yeah, one of the largest reasons I'm not as well known in the scene as it is because I spend so much time trying to develop a very individual approach to what I do with my art. I don't follow a lot of things. I make sure to do things very individual, and the way I speak is what you know me as, and the words I choose and things of that nature. But to become known as this novelty kind of show rapper, the fucking cripple rapper, I just didn't see it. But now I guess it's kind of, I think I was looking at it wrong, right? That was still kind of me cathartically trying to process what it was like to consider myself to be disabled, that affected a lot of things. I skateboarded for 18 years. I did a lot of things. It's hard to come to be a 30-year-old man and think of yourself as disabled. But the fact remains the same. I fucking am. Right? I don't have legs. It is what it is.
To be fair, I've known you for years, and you were disabled before you were disabled.
But that one was up here.
Yeah, right.
That one was up here. I mean, it is what it is. And a big thing that, I'm really big about and what motivates me to keep doing what I've been doing is people need to be proud of these scars. People need to be proud of their mistakes and the things that they're ashamed of in the past, because that's your trophy, man. That's what you've done to get past here. And fuck the people that don't get it. They're never going to get it. They don't have eyes to see the gift you present. You know what I mean?
It's just unbelievable to see kind of the growth and power. So I think the final big question is really, have you been able to get sober? Yeah.
I celebrated 90 days last week. I'm 95 days sober now. I'm deep in the program, which was a weird thing for me too. My mother, going back into real fucking happy topics.
Right, yeah.
My mother died when I was young.
This is good programming.
Yeah.
We're also looking for sponsors.
Yeah, right. Yeah, support your local clubhouse. My mother died when I was 17 of alcoholism, and she was part of the fellowships and stuff. And so it was a bad taste in my mouth for a while for me to kind of get in there. But it's really helped me. I think it's a big thing. I think there's a lot of stigmas and stereotypes that go along with it. I could go on for 40 minutes about my opinions there, but I think it's a wonderful program, being in the rooms and working with service positions. And in Colorado, I do a lot with the AA central office and stuff like that and try to support that as much as I can. I'm about as much into my recovery right now as I was into getting fucked up a few months ago, so.
You've always been an all or nothing guy.
Yeah.
And it's, before it seemed like it was kind of all the nothing.
That's a good way to put it, man.
Yeah. And now it seems like all the all.
Yeah.
Well, Lak, I'm honored that, you chose to share your story with me. I mean, you could have taken this a million places.
So. No, it means a lot to me. I've always been a huge supporter.
This has been my first big scoop. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Lakryth, and we're going to go over some of our favorite conspiracy theories.